Hello, and thanks for clicking on this video. I don't know if you've heard of Be Reborn or not. It is season 1 because it's not complete. The ending, there are still things that were not wrapped up. So there has to be a season 2 because the story was not wrapped up. I don't know when it would be coming out, this drama. I watched it March 2nd to March 9th. Accidentally Sunday to Sunday. It was kind of funny. I don't remember when it came out, but of course, as typical, I'll put up the information so you can see for yourself. So this drama was a really good one. I rated it fairly high because it was really well done. It is one, I think, what was it that I was thinking? The main problem with this drama is they took basically the relationship between the two main guys, Captain Luojian and Zhang Wenjie, if I'm saying those names right at all. Between those two characters, they took the relationship so far that they took it too far for how far into the drama they were, so they had to put stumbling blocks in the way to back it up again. Does that make any sense whatsoever? Let me explain. Okay, also, though, it really did feel like a more of a not immature drama, but not mature drama. The other one that I want to talk about after this is Unnatural Fire, and compare the feel of these two dramas, where Be Reborn felt much more like a really well done YA story. Like, and it's probably because one of the main characters is younger, like the actor himself was younger, and I have to look up this information. I don't remember how old he is. But the actor himself is younger, and the character is younger. I think the character and the actor are supposed to be about the same age. This is one of those ones where they show his age within it. They show his literal birthday, the character's birthday. And now I forget if it was this one that they used part of the actual actor's birthday or not. Stuff I wasn't thinking of saying anything about because I forgot about it, and now I don't remember. But it was a good drama. Now, the problems that I wrote down here. The first arc was slightly boring. How much Luojian and Wenjie figured out the exact same info at exactly the same time. And, with the kid listening to the bad guy instead of or before the cop. And I know why he did that, because he's a character that doesn't trust the cops because of what his family is like. It's just built into him not to trust them. I get that. But it's one of those things where, like, I kind of understand it was a running theme throughout the entire drama. And I'm like, I get it. And I understand it. But at the same time, it felt like it was taken on to an extreme that it didn't need to be taken to. It felt more like what they were using in order to drag this drama out, rather than just an understanding of why he's struggling. How do I make this make sense if that doesn't make sense to you? There are some things that, like, there's just something about it where you understand, but at the same time, you're like, you're being an idiot, kid, wake up, like, stop being so stupid, instead of being as empathetic toward it as you should be, because, like, it's, like, there, but they don't really build it like they should. It's like, he just doesn't trust the cops. He just wants to be included in this, and he knows he wouldn't be if he left it to them. They would exclude him, so he wants to be included, so he's just going to do it himself. You get it? But in some dramas, they build it to a point where, like, you really understand. You feel the struggle. You're included in this struggle. It is so real to you that you get it. In Unnatural Fire, they do some of this stuff I'm talking about right. They do it all right. So if you want to understand, watch Reborn 1, Be Reborn. Watch Be Reborn, and then watch Unnatural Fire. If some of this stuff, if you don't get what I'm trying to explain, watch the two dramas. And maybe you'll just see it, because you'll just see it while you're looking for it. Maybe you still won't understand, and you can come and leave a comment and ask me what on earth I'm talking about if you don't get it. But it's just, you get it, but at the same time, it doesn't pull you right in there so that you get it. It feels more like it's just something that they stubbornly hung on to, like the writers were hanging on to this rather than the character hanging on to it. The writers were using this to drag their story out longer than they needed to drag it out. Does that make sense? The second arc, oh, I hate the characters that come in and take over and don't listen to or even show any respect for the local captain. Police women, grr this time, but grr just as bad when... I don't even know what I was writing there. Okay. The thing is, this happens in... This is like a very, 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 very common trope within like detective stories and whatnot, where someone of a higher rank from another department is called in to help with the current case because it's too difficult for the locals or because it's too political or whatever. They have to bring in these people to help with the case. They come in there and they just take over like they know everything and they're so smart and whatever. They just take over and don't listen to a word that the people are saying. And in this one, they sort of kind of gave some excuses. Oh, cats, and they're playing with their toy. They kind of sort of gave some excuses for why, but it just falls flat. It's just way too common of a trope. They do this all the time, and I can't stand it when they do this. They literally do it all the time. It's just made worse in this one because she's a woman, because then they add the element where the main guy and the main girl, like these two, actually have some kind of crush on each other. So what she is doing with him, like the whole deal with the pillow, with him, he has his pillow that he uses because he sleeps in the office so often, and she realizes how dirty and gross it is, so she gets him a new pillow. And literally everybody is like, oh wow, she cares so much about him. This is so cute. She got him a new pillow. And I'm like, actually, she trampled all over his boundaries. She didn't ask him about any of that. She didn't talk to him about any of that. She didn't even do it in a nice, caring way. She did it in an arrogant, yeah, aren't I nice, like, duh. Of course I got you a new pillow because that thing is so gross and I'm worried about you, you know. I'm like, it just came across so wrong. It just came across as arrogant and stepping all over boundaries rather than what they were claiming it was, which was caring about him. And I'm like, I sort of see the crush. I sort of see how maybe in the future you... No, it's not working for me. It's really not. When they're both police officers and she's ranks above him and she's just coming in and trampling all over, it's like half of what she's doing is just to prove that she's good at her job. So she has to trample all over him in order to prove it. Like, if you're really that good at your job, you do not need to trample over anybody. That's what people that are actually not as good as they claim to be do. But the problem with this one, what actually annoyed me even more than any of that, was the fact that we were repeating everything that we already saw. When I'm talking about like the first arc and the second arc, the first arc is literally the relationship building between Luo Jian and Wen Jie. Literally them coming to some kind of understanding. There's this whole arc. They go through all of this. Things happen. I try not to give spoilers. Things happen where he becomes a plant and he's helping the good guys by becoming one of the bad guys and all the rest of that stuff. And stuff happens and he becomes in danger and they have to save him from it. And all of this kind of stuff happens. There's the building of, there's the oops, we made these mistakes. Now this is what we need to do instead. And then look at it. Just look at it. The second arc, when the female police officer comes in, it's the same thing all over again. Let's plant him here. Let's do this. He gets kidnapped. We have to save him. Oops, we didn't do that. Now this. It's literally the same thing all over again. You just repeated the same story all over again by having the female refuse to listen to the male. The cops, I'm trying to distinguish who they are. There's the female cop. I can't remember, what's her name? I totally don't remember what's her name. Oh, Su Ying. Su Ying not listening to Luo Jian and just doing things her own way. She literally ends up doing the exact same thing that Luo Jian did in terms of Wen Jie. I'm like, one or the other. Why were both of these in this story? This is dumb. This was unnecessary. But the thing is, they had to put it in there, like I say, because the Luo Jian and Wen Jie were working together too well. They had to put a stumbling block in there because they needed this drama to be 26 episodes instead of like 17 or something. They had to make it longer, and we're like, oh crap, they're working together too well. We have to bring somebody else in there to like put a wrench in it so that we can have problems with Wen Jie again because him and Luo Jian is working together too well. So we have to have Su Ying in there to throw a wrench and everything. I'm like, and you just ended up repeat. So have the same thing all over again. That was okay. Anyway, the necklace case. was weird because it made less and less sense as it went. So this is spoilers if you don't want to know what happened with that case. But I'm telling you, I'm like, huh? What? Okay, literally. The guy let her touch it. Why did he let her touch it? What kind of, what? When, where, how? This does not make any sense whatsoever that he let her touch it. It just does not make any sense that he let her touch this thing. It is ridiculously expensive, and he's giving it to his fiancée. Why did he let this other random girl touch it? Why? Why would he even let her touch it? Then, on top of letting her touch it, he turns his back on her and walks all the way across the room and is not even looking at her anymore. He turned his back, walked across the room, and didn't even look at her. The fact that there's two people with guns there doesn't matter. He spent how much money on this thing? He bought it for his fiancée, and then, before he even gets to touch it, never mind her getting to touch it, this other random woman gets to touch it, and then he turns his back on her and walks away. Tell me why. Okay, unless, like, literally the only excuse for any of this making sense that I can think of is because he is so rich that the amount of money that he spent on this thing literally doesn't even matter. The object itself is so expensive and it doesn't matter because he's got trillions and trillions of other dollars elsewhere. Don't think it was quite to that point, but even if it was, this still doesn't make sense. Even if money doesn't matter to you, it's not, this thing is really rare, etc., etc. And he's just like, hey, it's here. The woman's like, let me do it. He's like, okay, would you? I'm like, this is making no sense whatsoever. Like, none whatsoever. It does not make any sense. And then the chase took way too long. Like, way too long. I realize, I get why she stopped and made sure that she stopped and waited until the cop realized that she's the one he's looking for, so that he will chase her. Like, why the crap did she do that? And then I realized, I think because she was doing that on purpose, because she wanted them to chase her, because, etc. So, okay, fine, that part of it made sense. But still, the chase itself took too long. It was like, is this chase ever going to end? It took too long. And then, tell me, how did she, while she was limping, lose the young and insanely able-bodied young man Wenjie when he was right behind her? He was right behind her. And yet, she got into an accident here. Even if he was over here, he gets to the edge of the crowd when she's, as far as I can tell, maybe here. He was literally right behind her, and yet somehow she lost him so bad that it's like he almost lost what direction she was going. And then when he caught up to her-ish and was entering the building, the policeman that went the wrong direction already turned around and found where they were before he caught up to her when she's limping. And him, the things you see him do throughout this drama are insane. The physical capabilities that he has, he is so in shape, it's almost unrealistic considering what his body looks like. He's got no muscle mass that you can see. And yet the things he does throughout this drama and doesn't fall over dead from exhaustion from it, he keeps going and does even more stuff. He loses a limping woman. He does not catch up to a limping woman until they're on top of a building and other stuff happens as a result. This makes no sense. This entire case was stupid. There was no logic whatsoever involved in any of it. It was so badly done, I'm telling you. And then, okay, there was a case where someone dies, and I am telling you, in these dramas, people get over seeing something like a person's body hitting the ground from a really high height. For one thing, I think she fell too far. I don't think it would be possible for her to be still alive in order to go to the hospital. I'm pretty sure she would have been dead on impact. There are cases where miraculously someone lives, But considering how high up she was, like, how many floors up was that? And she fell directly down onto cement ground with nothing breaking her fall anywhere along the way. I don't think she would have been alive still. But even if she wasn't, even if she died right there, the point is, they get over stuff like this way too fast in dramas. Way too fast. In a sense, in a way, you need characters to recover faster than they would in reality. The next day! If I remember correctly, if maybe it wasn't the next day, maybe it was the day after the next day, but I think it was the next day. The best friend of this girl, who hears this loud thump, whack, turns her head, and that is her best friend that is now lying on the ground, and there realistically would be pools of spreading around her because of this fall. And yet the next day, she's in school. And within just a few days, it's like everything else is more important, and like it literally never comes up again. It doesn't come up again in her life. She doesn't mention it again. Next thing you know, it's like in a few episodes from there, which from my understanding of the timeline, it's like maybe a week. And it's like, never happened. My best friend isn't here on screen with me anymore, but it's like she basically never existed. She got over it so fast. Her and the two boys, all three of them see this, and yet they just get over it so fast that it just isn't a thing anymore. And you're like, that is not realistic in the slightest. When you see this kind of violence or whatever on TV, some people, like me, it takes a lot longer to get over that. Other people, it doesn't bother them. It's on a screen. And then, for some reason, people get into their head that that's how real life works, too. And it's not. When it's real life, and you are actually in the middle of stuff like this, you actually physically, in reality, see stuff like this, or experience stuff like this, you don't get over it that fast. So, okay, yeah. And then there's the gaslighting that comes into the story. Even when it's Wenjie doing it to Luo Jian, I can't with gaslighting. I can't. How could you think that of me? Haven't we moved past this? You're being unfair. What did I ever do to deserve your thinking of me this way? Dude. The policeman is right about you right now. He's right about everything that he's saying to you and thinking about you. And you're like, oh, how could you? I'm so sad that you think that of me. Gaslighting him. I can't. Because then the policeman starts feeling bad for doing it. And like, maybe he is wrong and I really shouldn't be doubting him. I'm like, yes, you should be doubting him because you're right about him right now. He's gaslighting you right now. Where's the rest of my notes? No, you're not wrong, Wenjie. No, you're not. We all know it. Stop with the gaslighting. But anyway, it slowed down a bit. It got slow, and it also a bit weird how the big... Yeah. Spoilers. There's something huge, like all of these cases build up to something huge, a secret, etc. All comes into this. And it's like, I think I'm done about this one. It was good overall. I mean, wow. Poor Wenjie. Maybe a bit of a spoiler. He gets kidnapped 3 times within this drama. And twice he came that close to actually dying. Oh my gosh. Ouch! Woo! There were intense moments. There were really intense moments in this drama. It majorly slowed down, mainly through that arc where it's like, okay, we're just seeing the same thing all over again. There were some episodes in there that just were not necessary. Like the girl, the female, the Su Ying, she was not necessary to the story. It would have been a better story if she wasn't in it. It would not have been as long, but that actually probably would have been a better thing because, like, she was not necessary to the story. She just wasn't. And, like, all it did was make it drawn out and longer than it needed to be. Once it got into other stuff, it actually got, like, really good again and, like, really pulled in. But there was also, yeah. So there was some stuff that was definitely more immature and more kind of frustrating, and even the adults were acting less mature than they should have been. Like, when Gia definitely felt and acted younger, because the actor, as well as the character, is younger than Luo Jian and Su Ying. But at the same time, Luo Jian and Su Ying often felt way more immature than they should be, considering they're fully grown, mature adults with fully grown, mature jobs. So like I say, it felt like a well done YA drama, basically. Well done YA, but it was still YA. So, that was Be Reborn. I liked it. I rated it fairly high for a reason. It was well done, really good. I hope there's a second season 2 coming soon, because I want it. Like, no. Yes, definitely the whole high rise. How to describe it? Not a high rise, because there was twice. Like, not the one where he's going across the cord. That was, yeah, okay, that's the beginning, and that was intense too. But once it got to the other stuff, and the whole in the vehicle with the water, and all that stuff, it was intense. There was a lot of interesting, really well done stuff in this drama. So, I would definitely recommend you go and watch it. Hey, thanks for watching. Leave comments, whether you watched it or not. Let me know. What did you think? Bye.